Man, what's up? What's up, YouTube? Jay here, No Spoon Podcast. Sorry for the delay. Get some things together. It seems like there's a little bit of a lag, but if you can hear me, let me know in the comments. Yeah, there we go. What's going on? What's going on? Man, hey, you saved the day. Broken Traditions. You saved the day, man. Man, I was going through it. I don't know what happened is one of the lenses on the back of the camera, it broke like a couple days ago. And I hadn't had time to get it fixed, right? Obviously I gotta get it fixed. But I just haven't had time. And so it wasn't causing no problem. It wasn't really causing me no problems. And then I don't know. I really don't know if it has anything to do with that, because as you can see, I'm still recording right now. So who knows? But I do gotta get it checked out, obviously. But yeah, that's the best thing I can think of. Yeah, it's you know how they got the 3 cameras on the back, the 3 little lenses, but it cracked. It like cracked, and so it had been giving me some problems just using the regular camera. But I had been able to record things. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to record on here, and so I didn't think it was going to be an issue, because it hadn't been an issue. Now all of a sudden, right when I'm about to go live, of course, it becomes an issue. But yeah, let's get into it. I don't have much time here, so you know, you ain't here. I don't know what to say, right? So hopefully, man, next time we won't have some issues like that. But my name is Che. This is the No Spoon Podcast. Thank you guys for joining. I was trying to get everybody to get over here. I was on IG trying to tell people to come over here to the YouTube. Yeah, the camera is known for not working, I know. But anyways, let me just kind of break some things down, because I don't have much time. I'm not trying to sit here and be too long. I had some things planned, but obviously due to some technical difficulties, why does this keep coming up? Anyways, due to some technical difficulties, we're kind of pressed for time. Here's what I'm trying to do, man, and I'm just going to try to lay it out there. I want to give you guys a live show every week, once a week, and it appears that the best time for me to do that is Wednesdays. But as you can see, Broken Traditions, who's in the comment section, he has his show at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern, and I don't want to step on his toes. And plus, you know, we kind of our audience is, you know, I want my audience to go watch him. He wants his audience to come watch me. So there's no point in doing something at the same time. But at 4:00 Pacific time, 7 Eastern, is pretty much what I'm going to be working with from here on out. If that changes, now obviously there's work, life, a whole bunch of other stuff that happens. If that changes, I'll let everybody know that we're going to do it at a different time. But the objective is to do one of these live shows a week. So as of right now, lock in Wednesdays, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. And unless there's further notice, and I'll post that on all the social media platforms if we're going to do it a different day. But and like I said, Broken Traditions, he has his show at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. I'm going to be a guest on there later on. So after this, go in and check him out. And even going forward, man, after you're done with listening to this episode, go listen to his. And I encourage that. We on the same vibe. You're gonna get the same type of thing. But I want to get into it. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to go over, but obviously we're pressed for time, man. So I'm gonna just try to get into it right now, and we'll just, we'll make it do what it do. Thank you everybody for listening, for everybody for being here. If this is your first time, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so right now. Also share this, like it, get it out to as many people as possible, because we're going to talk about some real things. Those of you who have started following me on other platforms, in particular IG, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your follow, man. And you know, I'm gonna give you the best that I can give you as far as with the limited resources that we have. You know, a lot of content creators, uh, like myself, like Broken Traditions in the comment section right there. I see you. We do this. We ain't getting paid. We don't have a lot of resources. We doing it with everything that we have. We work regular jobs, but there's important things to get out there. So I want to kind of touch on something really quick, and then we're going to get into what's going on. I posted some things, and we've been talking a lot about um, a lot of these athletes. We saw the situation that happened with Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills last week. I'm going to be talking more about that with Broken Traditions in a little bit. So I'm not going to get too much into that, but I just wanted to kind of talk about a few things, right? First and foremost, let me just say this. I what you call it? I've never said that I know what's going on, and I've never proclaimed that. And you can't find anything where I've said that I know what's going on. My main thing is that we haven't been able to ask certain questions surrounding the one particular thing, that the one elephant in the room, as I call it, right? So that's the main issue. I don't know what's going on. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a researcher. I'm not any of that stuff. I'm just a man with common sense. And the common sense tells me that if there's one thing that we're not allowed to talk about, and the people that have an incentive for keeping that thing going are the ones telling us not to talk about it, then maybe that's what we should be talking about. That's all I'm saying, right? And when you get censored, when you get banned from certain platforms, when you can't speak on certain things, to me that's a red flag. It's like walking into the room, when you with your kids, and the first thing your kids tell you is, I didn't do nothing. You don't sit there and say, well, he said he didn't do nothing. So I'm gonna no, common sense says there's a reason why they tell you they didn't do nothing. So that's the main thing what I'm talking about there. That's the main thing in all these situations that we see, you know, more and more people. There was a kid from Air Force who just died recently. You have a lot of unusual situations and unusual circumstances that maybe tell you that something is going on. I just think that we should look into certain things, right? So I'm not telling anybody this is what it is. I have my opinions, and those are my opinions. But as far as to come on the public platform and say that this is what it is, that would be foolish of me. All I'm saying is, why can't we talk about it? Why can't we ask the question? So that's number one. Number two, right? I just want to address a couple things that I've seen people, eh, eh, peop people's comments, people's reactions to certain things. You have people who say this, right? And I'm sure those of you out there that create content and are in, as far as like talking about what's going on, right? Listen, there's people that say this. Just say it. Stop beating around the bush. Stop being scared. Stop. Just say what it is, right? And there's a reason. Is even through this broadcast, I'm not saying certain things. The reason is because I don't own YouTube. I'm not. That's not. I have no say so over YouTube. Is it wrong? Is there issues with that as far as the censorship and everything? Of course there is. Of course there is. But right now, we're using platforms, and yeah, there's other platforms we can use. We can get into Rumble, and hopefully that's I'm gonna actually transition over there. I got something in the works to do something there too. But right now we're using YouTube. Right now we're using Instagram. Right now we're using Twitter, and Twitter's a little more liberated than anything, but we're using these platforms, right? So for those who are sitting here and say the problem is that people are scared to say the words. Here's the thing. I get a lot of those comments, but I get those comments from people with private accounts that have, 93 followers, most of whom are their aunties and uncles, and they're showing pictures from, juniors, third grade graduation. You see what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but listen, if I'm the one to go out there and say the specific word that you want me to say, if other creators that are out here trying to get it, now we all know what I'm talking about here, so let's not be stupid. So I think we can all understand the things that I'm talking about on these different platforms, right? But if I go out here and I say certain things, right? And then I get taken off. And then all the other creators and all the other people that are out there trying to get this out there, if they get taken off, who's going to be the one to say something? Who's going to be talking about it? It's not you. It's not you with the private account. I'm just being honest, right? Like, yeah, the fact is I have a regular job. I every time I get in front of this camera and behind this mic, I jeopardize all of that. But I feel like this cause is important. Now, if you're not going to do the same, then don't sit here and tell me to do something and jeopardize it and knock this whole thing down. And then nobody gets to talk. And then we all live in this draconian type of reality where we can't talk, we can't speak the truth at all because you don't want to say your piece. I just wanted to put that out there, man, because you get a lot of people that say, you know, you need to say it. We need to stop being scared. And it's not about being scared. If that's the case, then make your account, make your account public, put your face out there, put everything out there and start saying it and see how long, for one, see how long that lasts. And two, I'll feel a lot better. I'll follow you because I'll feel better because somebody's gonna take up the torch. But that's the thing, man. A lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to bash people and talk bad about, but I'm just being honest here. There's a reason why we doing what we doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason, and yeah, it shouldn't be like that. In a perfect world, in a utopian world, it wouldn't be like that. But that's not the world that we live in. So we're using the means that we have in order to get this message out there to people and to wake people up to the reality of what's going on. That's it. That's it, and that's all. So I just wanted to address that real quick, man, because you know, there's people that think like I don't know what they think. And to be honest with you, I think that I don't really trust a lot of those accounts. You know what I mean? And not that I really care, but I just wanted to put that out there and just starting to say, like, like there's reasons why we're doing what we're doing. And yeah, I see you out there, Black Pegasus. Like, yeah, it's strategy, man. Like, you come on now. I just find it crazy that there's people like that are, that they want you to do a certain thing, but at the end of the day they're not willing to do it themselves. And I'm not saying that that's not everybody, like you said. Like, I see, not people are not good speakers sometimes. I get that. But understand the game that we're playing. We all understand what we're talking about, right? So let me just move on, man. Get off of that real quick. Like I said, I'm gonna be on the show with Broken Traditions in a little bit after this, and we're gonna really get into it there. But I'm pretty sure that you're gonna have to read between the lines there too. That's just how it goes. But I want to get on this subject, and I didn't say that this wasn't one of the things that I was supposed to talk about, but I posted this yesterday on my Instagram page, and I want to get into this because I feel like this is important, and I feel like if we don't talk about this, and the direction that this is going, that it's going to lead like this should wake people up in a lot of different ways, and I'm going to talk about it. Let me play this clip real quick, and then we'll move on from there.
All the trappings around it. A lot of people confuse it for stuff it isn't.
So for those who don't know, how would you describe what it is that you do?
ABDL, it stands for Adult Baby Diaper Lover. Kind of gives you permission to regress into a sort of headspace where you can feel a little safer. It's so easy to overthink constantly and worry constantly. Sometimes the only thing that can really help you put the brakes on all of that is, deliberately putting yourself into a state where, I can sit and color or watch cartoons or just kind of do whatever, and I don't have to hold myself to expectations.
Yeah, that was weird, right? Obviously that's super weird. These are people that call themselves adult baby diaper lovers. These are adults who role play as children. And I've even seen a thing that there's a community now. I saw it on Twitter that they call it age play, right? Where people are they're playing be a different age. Now, I've seen a lot of different reactions to obviously these people are weird. Obviously, there's some type of mental health component. Obviously, there's some type of um, I don't want to deal with reality component. He's saying it's this sometimes it's good to just get away from having to think about life and deal with life. And I understand that in the sense that I understand that that's what they're doing. It's weird. I'm not going to validate that. But here's the problem, right? Um this is a very, very, very slippery slope, and it's a dangerous slope, right? Because I think that the end game for some of these people is to be able to do things with children, right? Um, and the reason I say, like, see, here's the thing, and I'm just going to be blunt with it. Once we started to go down this path of accepting subjective feelings above objective reality, that opened up a door that you really can't get away from, right? So once we started to say certain things that we know to be objectively true, we say that they weren't true because of certain person felt that way. So I'm just going to say, you know, example, obvious example. If I'm a man and I tell you that I feel like a woman, right? And even though we know that that's not true, that even though that's how you feel, that's not true. That's not the truth. You can say that you feel however you want to feel, but we know that that's not true, right? Once we started saying we have to validate that, we have to accept that. We have to accept that somebody's subjective feelings, how they feel inside, overrides objective reality. Once we started to go down that path, you open the door for everything. Everybody's subjective feelings is now fair game to be treated and given validation as being a truth. You have to. You have to do that. I don't care what you think you are. That's fine, right? Think you're anything you want to be. I don't care. But you're asking people to accept that and validate that. You're asking people to say, yeah, that's who you are. That's a very dangerous path we're going on. Now, I looked at that individual right there, and he's a weirdo. I don't know if he has any kind of intentions to do things with children, but just let me give you this example, right? Let's just say that now we start to play that game, right? We start to say if gender is a social construct, so is time. Time is a social construct. We all agree, we base it on on something physical, right? But it's just it's just so it's socially something that's socially engineered. What is young, what is old, what is considered young, what is considered old. We hear that all the time when people say, you know, 30 is the new 20, meaning 30 years old is not considered old anymore. 40 years old is not considered old anymore, right? These are social constructs. So why, if a male can say I'm not male, I'm female because that's how I feel inside. We can never prove that. That can never be proven. How you feel inside can never be proven. I can't prove to you whether I'm happy or sad. That can't never be proven. You have to take my word for it. That's the problem with this. You have to take people's word for it. If a person says this is how I feel inside, then we just have to go along with it. If it flies in the face with of objective reality, right? A man is a man. No, no, no. They feel like a woman. Well, I clearly no, 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 no. how they feel is more important than what actually is. Okay, I feel young. Now what's going to stop somebody from saying, "Hey, I feel like I'm 8 years old." You see that happening. This person wants to feel like a child. There are other people, and I think there's people who have come out who have come out as trans, and they've said, "Well, I didn't get to live the childhood of a little girl. So I want to go back and be a little girl even though you're 40 years old." So now I'm really in my girl years, I'm 5. Here's the problem. If we start saying that and saying, "Okay, you're 5." Do you have a problem with them having a relationship with a 6-year-old that's actually 6? Maybe we don't go that far, but let's just say they think they're 11 or 12 or 13 or 14. I want to feel like a middle schooler. And by the way, I want to be in a relationship with an actual middle schooler. Are you going to be okay with that? Do we have to let that go too? People say like, oh, they want to use biological men want to use, women's bathroom. And they say, well, you're by not allowing them to do that because you think something's going to happen, you're calling all trans people child molesters or rapists. That's not necessarily true, because this is something that you cannot prove. Let's just say this. Let's say there is a child molester out there. What's to stop him from going into the women's bathroom and saying, "I'm trans. You have to let me in"? What's going to stop him? If we take this logic that not illogic what it is, but if we take this way that we're thinking now, that society has been groomed to think, if we take this and we start to say, okay, this is what we're going to do now. This is reality now. If you feel like this, then you can do things uh as if it's reality. You can go to the women's bathroom. What's going to stop somebody that does want to have access to women and children, that is a predator, from saying, "This is how I identify"? We can't stop him. I can't say, "No, that's not true." You can't say that's not true. Nobody can say anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this whole belief system is based on the honor system. Like, we all have to just honor it because you said it. That's what you say you are. That's what we have to honor it. Do we not see that this is the path that we're going down? We've opened up this can of worms, man. It's eventually going to get there. It just is, because you can't say in one sense, okay, you're not telling the truth, but you are. You're telling the truth, but he is. No, come on now. It's one way or the other. This is why it's very simple. And this is the path. Excuse me. These people that are trying to destroy society, right? Break down society completely in order to achieve their ends, which is ultimate control, right? What they're trying to do is create chaos, and you create chaos by having no structure. There are no boundaries. Anything goes now. Anything goes. You can do whatever you want. You can be however you want. Nobody can question it. Nobody can speak out against it. Nobody can do anything because it's all based on the honor system. This is what's going on. And so when I look at that clip, I don't just look at a crazy person. I look at some very dangerous stuff that's coming ahead. If you allow one person's subjective feelings to take precedence over objective reality, you have to allow it all. I don't care what it is. You have there. Why? Because then the question becomes is why is their boundary? Why is the boundaries there and not there? Why is the boundary only for gender? Why isn't the boundaries for race? Why isn't the boundary for age? Why isn't the boundary for species? Why isn't the boundary for anything? If we've already allowed the boundary to be pushed, why can't it be pushed further? Dangerous, man. Very, very dangerous. Um, this is gonna be short, like I said. So I'm gonna cut it short here in a minute. I had some other stuff I want to talk about. We'll save it for another time. Um, I'm going to start putting together, like I said, my intention is to do this show once a week. It's going to be every Wednesday, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. That can change, right? And I'll let you know if it does. But as of right now, lock in that time, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern every Wednesday. I'm going to do a live show here. But I'm also going to put out a video every week, an original video of, and here's what I'm going to start talking about, right? I think that we can't just sit here and talk about things without having answers, without trying to find answers, find solutions. So I think the biggest problem that we're facing is the destruction of the family unit, and the family is being destroyed because the men have been destroyed. The men have been decimated. Um, so my videos going forward, that the original videos that are going to be pre-recorded, I put them on YouTube, make shorts of them, do all type of stuff. Those types of videos are going to be directed towards rebuilding the family, rebuilding men, encouraging marriage, encouraging family, encouraging men. This is very different from the red pill ideology. I don't have a problem with the red pill ideology, and we're talking about Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit and all that. There's a lot of things I don't like about them, but but there are things that I do like. But this is more directed towards family, just from the man's perspective, and building the man back up so that the man can take his righteous role as the head of household, right? I very much agree with that. I very much am sincere about that. I think it's very important. I'm not yeah, shout out to Bond. Yeah, for real. I'm not um the difference between a lot of those is they push like the high value man. Look, I'm a regular dude, man. I work 2 jobs. Um for those of you that don't know, spent from the age of 20 to 35 incarcerated. I'm 39, I'm gonna be 40 now. So I was out there in the streets, I was in the pen, I've done all that type of stuff. I'm married. I'm trying, I'm rebuilding my life back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. There's certain things um that I don't like about them dudes. So I'm not really pushing that angle. I'm pushing more of a family first. Let's rebuild that, because I feel like the family is the they're the autonomous cells that we need to be independent and self-governing and sovereign, right? It's very important. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I fly private jets like Andrew Tate and them. I'm not really into all that, right? I'm not. I'm just regular. So I run a prisoner reentry program every Saturday in South Central LA for guys that are getting out of prison. They're in halfway homes. They've been addicted to drugs. Some of them have been homeless. I work a lot with that population. That's my passion. That's the things that I do. So I'm giving you from that perspective, man. I'm giving you from the perspective of just being regular. I'm not flying, like I said, I'm not flying private jets. I don't have, you know, 10 girlfriends. That's not what I'm doing. My wife just walked in, looked at me crazy when I said that, because but that's the type of stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the type of perspective I'm giving it to you from. I'm not giving you from this, you know, if a high value man is somebody that makes 6, 7, 8 figures, that ain't me. Um, I'm more of a man of values, right? and man of principles and man of morals and man of trying to do some things that are that I think is better. And I look at all these different things, and we talk about a lot of different topics, right? Um, we talk about a lot of different topics, going from, that the people collapsing to the different, everything that I've talked that you see me talk about, you post on different platforms and everything like that. But I think it's all connected, right? So when you see a lot of like the red pill ideologies, when it's just more just like male empowerment, right? And that's cool. That's what you want to do. I think there are some things that are imbalances in society. Obviously, I think feminism is a terrible thing. I think it's does more destruction than anything. I think that I think that going back to the strong family unit is the thing that's going to save us. And so when I look at all these different things, when I look at the things that are going on, you want to call whatever you want to call it. You want to call it the Great Reset. You want to call it authoritarianism. You want to call it, the moral decay of our society. I think that the root cause of all that, and the only way that they've been able to achieve all that, is because they destroyed the family unit. And they destroyed the family unit because they removed the male presence from the household. And when I talk about the male presence, I mean the true masculinity, how a man is supposed to be, right? His true place, his true nature, that the men and women are now operating outside of their nature. True masculinity and true femininity have been destroyed. And for that reason, now we have chaos. Now you have these baby people who are wearing diapers and want to be changed and being weirdos and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's not the path that I'm going off. I would rather take a lot of the things that I talk about every Saturday with these men that are getting out of prison and these men that have been into some of the extremist situations that they've been in, and give you guys the same thing that I give them in those classes that we talk about. How to become a man. We talk about basic stuff, man. A lot of it is just basic stuff. Work out, eat right. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at porn. Stop smoking weed. Things like that. These are just basic things that'll revolutionize your whole life. And so those are the type of things that I'm going to be talking about. So look for those videos. But I'm going to do a one live show every week. Like I said, Wednesdays, 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, where I'm going to talk about culture, politics, and common sense. That's what the No Spoon Podcast is: culture, politics, and common sense. We can talk about everything that's going on, talk about the different perspectives, talk about it from the truth, and give it to you like that. But the different videos that you're going to see is going to be directed in that sense. And I would love to take the audience, that Tate has, that a lot of these red pill people have. And I'm, like I said, I don't disagree with a lot of the stuff that they talk about. There's just, my angle is different, man. You know what I'm saying? My angle is different. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not knocking them. Do what they do, man. And a lot of people like listening to it. That's cool. But it's a different perspective and it's a different objective. I'm not trying to tell you as a man how to become a serial entrepreneur, which is, I'm all for entrepreneurship. I got things in the works that we're working on, but that's not my objective here. My objective is to rebuild the family so that we can rebuild society in a way that's going to be more beneficial to all of us. So look for those things, man. And what's some things I wanted to get into, but we'll talk about it another time. I apologize for the delay earlier. I had some issues. Hopefully they're solved. I still need to take this into the I don't know where I'm gonna take it, Apple, T-Mobile, whatever it is. But we're gonna take it in, get it fixed, and get this things back up and running, man. But I appreciate it. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please do so right now. Turn on your post notifications so that you can get every time that I'm going live or something like that, or there's this new video, you can get it. But please like it, share it, send it with as many people as possible, man. I appreciate everybody that has that joined, everybody that has been supporting. Follow me on these different platforms: Twitter, Instagram, and everything that you guys have done. I'm not here without you guys. I'm going to still continue to tell the truth, continue to talk about these things, and put it out there. But I appreciate it. Let me just see something real quick. I'm looking at some of the comments. Yeah, fresh and fitter dweebs. I mean, it just a lot of guys like fresh and fit complain about female behavior, but engage in the behavior that creates. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like gossipy stuff, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. They have their niche. I'm just gonna say that. Like, they have their niche. That's what they do. I'm not hating on them, but I just think that we're kind of engaging in something a little more serious, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, something a little more serious than just, how am I going to, you know, get a bunch of different girlfriends? I think, which to me, there's some psychological aspects and components to that have to be addressed. But appreciate you guys for joining in. Like I said, subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that stuff. Until next time, follow me on the different platforms. I'll see you then. My name is Che. This is No Spoon Podcast.